Hi everybody, thank you for tuning into another video on TK's Tech Corner. Today we're going to be taking a look at another mobile gaming controller, and this specifically is a Bluetooth controller for Android devices by a company called Nacon, and the device here is an MGX Pro. I bought this one off of eBay as an open box product that is unused, so I haven't opened it yet. You can see the seal is definitely cut, but I haven't opened it just so in case there's any nasty surprises or the product isn't in the box. At least you get to have a little laugh when I open it. So we'll open it up, we'll test it out on the Galaxy Z Fold 4, which is, as you've seen, my main device now, and I've been testing all the different game controllers that I'm buying on here, just so that you guys can make an informed decision on what is the right controller for you, for your Fold 4, if that's the phone that is of interest to you and that's the one that you use, because the inside screen is gorgeous for gaming and streaming games and playing games with the controller. It's a lovely experience. So we'll go ahead and open it up. Now this isn't particularly one of the smaller devices or the smallest controllers that I bought, right? And we'll talk a little bit about size as we go through this. I don't really know what to expect, but as you can tell by the box, it's not a smaller one, and by the picture, right? So there's the device. Good to see that a device is in there. Paperwork is there as well. There's nothing else in the box, so we just get that out of the way. And then this is just probably a quick setup guide, some important information. This is a Bluetooth controller, so this will have to be paired to my phone shortly. Another bit of paperwork there, which we probably will not need. I'm guessing one of these must give you some instructions on pairing, but anyway. This is an empty box. The controller itself, which definitely does not look like it's been used. It does look like an open box. You can see big device going on here, right? And we'll talk about that in a minute. And we'll have a look around the device in a minute as well, just to quickly see what else is in the box. I think that's going to be a charging cable. Yep. Interestingly, a pretty decent quality charging cable. There you go. Normally with the other Bluetooth controllers, like the GameSir X2, the Bluetooth one that I had, you get very cheapy thin cables. This is a very solid USB-A cable, USB-A to USB-C, so nice to see a good quality cable in the box. That will be for charging the device, right? I don't know if it works with the Xbox or not, may or may not. Let's put that aside. Let's have a quick look on here. So it says Xbox designed for Android. I think it may work with the Xbox, to be honest. It does say designed for Xbox, but nothing that talks about Game Pass, right? Because that's the picture on the box as well. Streaming games from Xbox Game Pass, which is a brilliant service. Let's leave the USB cable aside. Hopefully there's some charge in this thing, right? And then we'll go through the device, we'll talk about what's going on, the triggers, we'll compare this to an Xbox controller, which I've also got here. Which one have I got here? This is, oh look at that, Day 1 2013. This is the controller that I got with my Xbox One X on day one. One nice controller. The Series X controller is here somewhere, though this is the first one that was available to hand. So before I put the phone in there, I'll keep the suspense going a little bit. First thing I notice here is this, I would say it wasn't designed fully for foldables in mind, because it's got a little ridge here at the bottom, and that's annoyed me as soon as I saw that. And then it's also got these little bump or stoppers here on the left and right, which is where the bottom of the device would sit, and it would rest on there and the corners would go in there, right? But really, if they didn't have those there, that fold would probably sit very nicely with the screen right in the middle of the controller, and that would have been really nice. So immediately what I'm seeing is that this is going to be sitting like this. I think there's going to be some pros and cons to this, right? And we'll talk through this, but that's the first impressions I'm getting on this controller. It does feel very nice. Let's just talk about how the buttons feel. I don't know what's going on here. I know because it's a big controller, but why did they have to make the A, B, X, Y buttons so big? They're huge. Or am I just overthinking it? No, they're huge. Let's compare the two, right? Get them as close as I can. Xbox controller, which is full-size controller, really good over for me, this is my favorite controller. I love the PS5 controller. Technology is fantastic, but from a comfort perspective and playing games for hours, the Xbox controller has always been a winner for me. Yeah, my favorite. My hands fit the best in an Xbox controller, and it's been my favorite. For me, this feels the most ergonomic, right? And the buttons feel right. They're perfect. The spacing is perfect. The size is perfect. The feedback on the button presses is perfect. New controllers, even nicer to be honest. I don't know why they decided to make the buttons on this thing so big, because what you've got is you've got less button spacing. Now I don't like particularly large button spacing, but I also don't like it too close. To me, the buttons initially are feeling a bit too close together. Whether that's going to be a game changer or not, I don't know. The trigger buttons, yeah, they feel okay. Now, for me, the triggers on a full-size controller, right, I should be able to hit them with this sort of middle area on my finger here. I'm not hitting them like this because they're there and my fingers are on the triggers ready to go there, right? So are they yeah, they're getting pressed right at the corners, and I think that's fine. There's not much movement in it. Switches feel okay. Let's compare them to this. These are slightly different. I think from what I remember, on the initial controller that came with the series, not the series, sorry, the 1X, I think the shoulder buttons were a little bit funny on there. But again, you can see there, though, right? From a grip perspective, my sort of middle area of my fingers there is resting right there on the controller, and I'm able to hit the bumpers absolutely fine, where the bottom parts of my fingers sitting on the trigger, right? So I can go straight on the triggers, I can get the shoulder bumpers going without any of this weird stuff, not too much movement. You lose too much time doing that stuff when you're gaming, right? It's got to be quick, you've got to be right there. Analog sticks feel nice, and a benefit about one of the larger controllers like this versus the other ones I've been reviewing recently, which are probably considered more portable controllers, right, is that this one here has full analog sticks. The clickiness in them is lovely, have to say. It feels very, very nice. They're responding to clicks from all angles without issues as well. Yep, very smooth, nice wide movement there. I think if you're gaming for hours on end on your phone, streaming Xbox Game Pass, this is going to give you serious comfort, and the grips feel nice as well. One other thing we don't see on here is we don't see any of those fancy, for me I think on a mobile, personally probably useless, those pro type buttons where you remappable buttons that you can map via an app to one of the other buttons, or combinations. D-pad, okay, you can hear how loud that is. Doesn't feel nice. Too much travel there. Don't know what's going on there. I don't like the shape of the D-pad. I don't 50% on the sort of response on each of the directions. Angles, I think you'll be able to hit angles okay. You'll probably be able to use it, it's fine, but it's not refined like that. That's a D-pad. That's a proper D-pad. That feels nice. Look at that. Our fingers rocking around on that. That is lovely. Each button press. If I hold it close to the microphone. Feels nice, sounds nice, responsive. This one, what is going on there? I mean, maybe need to try hard. As soon as you press the middle, it just makes an awful noise. Not liking the D-pad. Other than that, all the familiar buttons you can see, the Xbox guide button, the menu buttons, etc., are all there. It looks like there's a little power light there, and probably a connectivity light, I'm guessing. On the bottom of the device, we've got a USB-C port for charging and a Bluetooth pairing button there as well. So let's just talk about the triggers quickly, because triggers are important. Now, one thing I do like about triggers is the large size. They don't have the same sort of shape as the Xbox controller I've got here particularly, but I mean the Xbox triggers for me, these are awesome. Right? The fingers wrap around them so nicely as well. And the angle on that is, look at that, the angle's always been sweet on the Xbox triggers. Your finger does not slip off in gaming. It can't. So that's important to get a good angle on them. And these, I think they seem to have I would say, moderate angle, though it's not so aggressive. The large size of them means I think the fingers are going to stay on. So they're not, it's not like when if I'm pressing them hard, my fingers aren't sliding off like that. They're staying on. I think they're going to be okay. Slightly more of an angle, I would have been happier, but again, you know, can't have everything. So then let's open it up. Now this is supposed to support devices up to 6.7 inches as it says on the box. Now one thing to bear in mind, the Fold when it's open is a 7.6 inch screen inside, right? But the external screen is I think only 6.2 if I remember correctly. So based on the fact that this is not really designed for stuff like this, it's designed more for stuff like the traditional smartphones, right? And we will get the, I'll get my Note 10 here, just so that we can stick that in as well. So there's a Note 10, so we'll stick that in as well. This is 6.7 or whatever it was, I can't remember. So we'll see if that fits in there. It does look like it opens quite wide, right? So if I even got the phone there, before even sticking it in, you can see that it's probably going to fit in with the case. No real concern about the USB-C port here because there isn't one, right? It's a Bluetooth controller. So now, the moment we've been waiting for, how is this going to fit in? So let's go ahead and put this in, see what happens. So how am I going to do this? The opening mechanism is smooth, very smooth, it's very light. I'm not having to put much effort on there, and it slides through its range quite smoothly. And you can see on the back as well, and it's got quite a wide base, which is good, which means it's probably going to provide a good level of support and stability for the phone while it's in there. So I should be able to just slide this all the way in, and it's in. Now, does it feel top heavy a little bit? Yeah, maybe a little bit it does, but you know what? Let's just quickly try this, because this is an annoying thing, and I'm almost tempted to get a Dremel and just chop this thing off here, right? And chop these bits at the bottom off, because then I can put the phone where I like. I want it in the middle. You know, right? Now, you can't play with this like this. You can, but I don't think it's very stable because it's not clipped in fully, right? So I wouldn't be playing with it like that. There are some benefits I'm noticing here now though. Now check this out. Traditional phone in here, so let's just stick the Note 10 in here with the case on. I'm not going to bother taking the case off. Should take it. It's fine, right? It goes in. Where's the charging port? Remember, no pass-through charging on this, right? So can't charge the phone. One immediate benefit I'm seeing with the Note 10 now is, sorry, not Note 10, the Fold 4, is if you put it in this way, where you've got your buttons on the top, you've got full access to unlock your phone through the fingerprint sensor, you've got access to your volume controls, you've also got an access to your C port. So now you can charge the device whilst you're playing. The battery's not going to run out. Well, hey, that is an advantage straight away. That is a big advantage, right? So over the traditional phone, Fold 4 wins in this controller because you can charge it. You can charge the controller separately via the C port at the bottom. You can have two C cables going, one to the phone, one to the controller, game forever. So let's go ahead and connect it up and see how it works then. So I'll open up my Bluetooth settings. I will get my, it says turn this on, press the Xbox button. The light has come on there, which means it's on. It's probably going to be in a pairing mode because the light is flashing. Actually, what I'll hit the Bluetooth button at the bottom because that'll probably get into a pairing mode. So I've held the button at the bottom and I've left it. Right, that light is flashing at a different pace now, so it's flashing twice and then stopping, it's pulsing twice and stopping. Now I should be able to find the controller. Nacon MGX Pro, so the controller has been found. We're going to pair to it, and it's paired. You can see it's working, the D-pad's working, the analog stick's working, the big chunky buttons here on the right are working as well. And so there we go, it's working, it's ready to play some games. Before we do that, let's talk about size. This thing ain't fitting in your pocket, let's be honest. If you're sitting at home on the couch, away from the console, away from the TV, and in bed maybe, probably, right, you want to have a little gaming session, you're going to pull this out, and you're probably going to have a good gaming session because you've got a lovely big screen, you can keep your devices charged, and that grip is awesome, it's comfortable, right? Your hands are spaced nicely as well, I'll be honest, this is nice, this is feeling good so far. I'm ready for a gaming session here, yeah? But if you're going on the move, you can stick that in the box straight in your bag. It's not portable, I know, but just bear this in mind. Let's compare this to a couple of other devices that are very popular on the go. Nintendo Switch. It's wider than a Nintendo Switch. Overall, size-wise, with the Fold 4, that's bigger than a Nintendo Switch, right? Now, obviously, you're not going to have these things together. When it's collapsed, let's just collapse it quickly. I can still use it, look, while it's out because it's Bluetooth. I can have this on a stand if I really want to. Let's compare that for size now. Roughly the same size as the Switch, yeah? This is the OLED model. Let's get that out of the way. Now, this is just for jokes, we have to do this, but the NVIDIA Shield. Right, now. Sorry, what am I talking about? NVIDIA Shield. I don't know why the shield's on my... The Steam Deck, complete insult to this gorgeous, gorgeous bit of hardware. Not just the device, look how big the device is, it's huge, right? I don't carry this around. This is too big to carry around. In my eyes, this is not a portable device. It's handheld, it's not portable. If I put this thing in the case, look at the size of that. Yeah, so when we're talking about this thing, it's not small, fine, but hopefully that puts into perspective. I'm already over the size of it, because this in your bag takes up your whole bag. You might as well carry a laptop around. So let's get that out of the way, because this is not about the Steam Deck. And let's get this back in, and let's fire up some Xbox Game Pass. What do you reckon? So let's do that. The backbone icon is still there. Let's launch a Game Pass. There we go. And let's see what happens. Right, so we're in. Controller's working nicely. Main thing is, let's see if it complains about controller when I start. No, let's start up some Forza. Put a bit of audio in, not too loud because it is late on this side. Don't really want to wake up the neighbourhood, so let's just keep it a little bit loud. Right, hopefully you'll be able to hear a little bit of noise through my microphone. You might not actually, but it's not too loud. Seems to be working fine so far. I'll test this on the PS Play app as well, just to see if it works out of the box with the PlayStation Remote Play app. Not the official one, I don't use the official one, I use a third party one called PS Play. If you want me to talk about that in another video, let me know, I'll be happy to talk about it. A bit more audio. Right. So this is comfortable, right? Because the controller is nice and large and you've got a really good grip on both sides, you don't really feel that weight of the phone being top heavy at all. It feels nice. I just want to go to God, I haven't played this for so long. The volume down a bit, it's a bit loud. Right. And I just pressed something that I shouldn't have there. Right. Now I guess the other thing that's probably worth talking about here is people generally talk about latency of Bluetooth controllers versus USB-C connected controllers. I can't say I'm a particularly latency sensitive person. In the games that I'm playing on the mobile, you know, even this is a fast-paced game. Can I notice any issues? No, I can't. No, this is a streaming game where I'm streaming this over the internet, so even then I can expect some latency, and to me it feels absolutely fine. So driving through a dust or desert storm at the moment by the looks of it, power sliding all over the place, but as you can see here, right, this is a solid gaming session, and this inside screen is doing this Xbox Game Pass some justice, because I've got a good size display inside. I'm getting a really good size display for my gaming session, and this is just awesome, right? So initial impressions are for this controller, yes. If I was sitting at home, this is the controller I'm going to be picking up to stick my phone into. There's no two ways about it. I'll be making sure this thing is charged and ready to go, because this is comfortable gaming on your mobile. not just for streaming games, but also for playing games just locally on the phone, right? So we'll just try out let's try an Android game quickly. So if I just exit this quickly, let's quit the game. Yes, really, really good. Thank you. We love the game and we love the streaming. Game looks great. Next, thank you. Submit. Right. I'm going to get to, let's play Dead Cells. I think I installed Dead Cells the other day when I was messing around with one of the other controllers. So let's just go ahead to that quickly. And let's try out Dead Cells. It should be installed here somewhere. Great game if you haven't played it on any other format. Get it even for your phone with your new controller and you'll enjoy it. Right, continue. Just leave it for a second. It's talking about this. Okay, I went back for a second to make sure that games were being synced. So you can see there, this game is using the full screen of the device, right? And now from it feels even more responsive than you'd expect it to, because it's just running locally on my device now. No streaming going on here whatsoever. The game plays really nicely. Right? I can teleport around. Looks gorgeous. Feels great. Controller is responsive. At this point, you could almost forget that you're actually playing a mobile game, to be honest, because it really does feel that good. It's like playing on a portable game console. So let's quickly test out the PlayStation, and then I can call it a day on this video. But I've tried to cover everything I could in terms of features, connectivity, comfort, D-pad that I don't like because it just sounds awful. The size of the buttons, I didn't notice them while I was playing, I must admit, but I don't know. I just personally don't like the size of the buttons. They're too big. They don't need to be that big, right? So this is the app I use for PlayStation Remote Play. It's called PS Play. I'm just going to cover this while it connects to my PlayStation, because it was going to show my address. Right, so now it's just waking the PlayStation up. Now I'm actually connecting through remote rather than local, because I want to show you the experience going over the internet. So even though I'm in the house on the LAN, I'm not going over the local area network, because this app gives you an option. Do you want to connect locally or do you want to connect remotely? When I do remotely, the connection will go through the internet. So this gives you a better idea of me streaming, say if you are out. Well, obviously, depends on the quality of your connection as well. Now my Wi-Fi connection here is going to be solid, and my internet connection is solid as well. So the experience is going to be quite good. The Last of Us 2, I've just finished that recently. Maybe I can just fire up some Wipeout. That will be nice and quick. That's installed on my console. And maybe we can get a quick game going just to see how it looks and feels. But this is now coming over the internet, right? The controller is working absolutely fine. I've not had to go into the PS Play app and configure anything. I think from buttons perspective, we'll find out if stuff's working as well. Analog stick here isn't working in these screens. Maybe that's just normal for this game. We'll find out when we start racing as to whether or not they're working or not, right? So let's love this game. Classic. Absolute classic. Remember playing this on the PS. Is it this one? On the PSP? When it first came out? Or the Vita? PS Vita. Oh, spent too much time on the PS Vita playing Wipeout. Right, so got to figure out the buttons. Right, okay. So you can see the analog sticks are working fine. These are the left and right air brakes here. And it's responsive. Oh, it's very responsive. Again, nice large screen, so it's not shortchanging me, right? It's giving me good use of my large display, the internal display, 7.6 inch, 120 Hz refresh. Gorgeous display on the Fold 4. There's this AMOLED, I think it's an AMOLED display. really good quality display on this phone, and you can't even see the camera, can you, because they've done a good job of hiding it in this iteration of the Fold. So this is just working nice. Look at this. Again, I'm trying to hold it a bit flat so you can see a better picture, but otherwise I'd be holding it up a bit towards me, and I think that'd be even more comfortable. I'd definitely get a better view of the screen. I'm looking at the screen at a bit of an angle at the moment, but as you can see, no issues here whatsoever. Plays fine, it's comfortable. Again, you could sit in for a very long gaming session here, right? And you'd have no problems charging the controller or the phone while you're playing, because the C port again is at the top. You've got full access to the power button and the volume controls. Nothing's blocked whatsoever. So I think overall, you're sitting at home, this is the controller to pick up for me now. There is another very similar controller to this. If I remember it correctly, it's by Moga. I do have another Moga controller. Moga XP7X Plus, I think that's what it's called. That one I think also comes with a wireless charging pad built into the actual controller, though it's probably not very powerful, so questions as to whether or not the phone actually gets charged while you're playing. But that too is a Bluetooth controller with a battery pack built into it, so you can use it as a battery pack as well. Again, you can have the phone and charge on, or you can have the controller on charge, and while the controller is charging, might charge your phone fast enough. I don't know. I don't have that controller. If you're interested in me doing a review and a compare of that versus this and some of the other controllers I've got, please let me know in the comment section below. I'll be more than happy to pull them all out and start doing comparison videos and answering any questions. If I do get enough requests in the comment section, I will purchase that controller and do a review on that for you as well. And on that note, I think I'll stop playing this because I'm enjoying it too much. And I would like to say thank you very much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed it, please leave a thumbs up. Any questions in the comment section below, as usual. Whenever I do get a chance, I will try and answer the questions. I run the channel on my own, so it's very difficult to get to all the questions, but I do try whenever I have a few moments. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. Please hit that bottom subscribe in the bottom right hand corner to support my channel. Really appreciate all the support and comments I get from my viewers. Really hope you've enjoyed the video and look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care and all the best.